Welcome to this channel. This is our first video in the series, and in this first lesson we are going to be considering the topic fraction. A fraction is a small part that is taken out of a whole. That is a small a small portion that is removed from a whole. Alright, there are types of fraction. There are three basic types of fraction. But first, let me give us this analogy. So for example, if I have an orange, if I divide this orange into two, that is the rationale behind fractions. It is based on division. That is, I've divided this orange. It used to be 1, now I've divided it into two portions. So I have 1 and 2, portion 1 and 2. So if I want to write this as a fraction, the conventional notation for this is that if I want to write a portion, so for example, I shade this portion, I'm going to say it is 1 that is shaded out of 2 portions. So it is read as 1 out of 2. For example, if I shade both portions, it's going to be that I have shaded 2 out of the 2 portions, which will transpose to 1, which will translate to 1. Now, whenever we are given fractions, we should analyze if the fraction is divisible by itself, by numbers, by different numbers, or it is just good alone like that. Because sometimes fractions might be termed unstable and stable depending on whether it can be reduced to lowest terms. It can be reduced to lowest terms. For example, if I have 4 over 6, this is not an unstable fraction because I can reduce this fraction by using 2 to divide on both top and bottom numbers. Now I have 2 over 3. Now, if I have 2 over 3, for example, 2 is described as the numerator. So the numerator being the number on top, and 3 is described as the denominator being the number beneath. And also, I said there are 3 types of fraction. We have the proper fraction and the improper fraction, and then the mixed fraction. The proper fraction is a fraction that the number on top is smaller than the number under. So more like, look at it like, say, the number under is enough, is able to conveniently carry the number at the top. So for example, we're going to have, an example is the 2 over 3. So seeing that 2 is not as big as 3, so we'll call it a proper fraction. Since we already said that a fraction is a small part that is taken out of the whole, so of course it is part of that whole. So that is why proper fraction is the smaller number will be on top, and the bigger number, which is the denominator, will be below. Then number 2 is the improper fraction. Now that is the opposite of proper fraction. We have the bigger number at the top and the small number under. So this is an improper fraction. Now, the third fraction is the fraction we always have when we convert this improper fraction into the proper form. So we try to convert this improper fraction into the proper form. What we do is we divide by that denominator. So we divide 9 by 2, we're going to have 4. Now there is going to be a remainder. That remainder will be our next numerator over the 2. And this is the third type of fraction, which is the mixed fraction. This is the improper, and this is the proper fraction. Alright, so what does that mean? It means that the mixed fraction and the improper fraction they are interconvertible. You can convert convert from the improper fraction to the mixed, from the mixed back to the improper fraction. If you want to convert from the mixed fraction to the improper, all you have to do is multiply this denominator by the whole number. This is read as 4 number 1 over 2. So multiply 2 by 4, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. So you have 9 over 2, which was your initial improper fraction. Alright, the last part of this lesson is reducing fractions to the lowest term that we tried here before. But now this is where we're going to be using bigger values now, such as, for example, if I have 20 over 45. So how do we reduce this fraction to the lowest term? The first thing to note is that whenever you want to divide, use numbers to reduce values using division, you are going to take note of these first 5 prime numbers I'm going to write here. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. In fact, majority of the times, you don't use more than these first 4 prime numbers. So for example, let's take note that, let's take a look. If 2 can divide both numerators and denominators. Now, the number you are going to use to divide must divide both the numerator and the denominator. So, for example, if I want to use 2 can only divide 20 but not 45. 3 can divide 45 but not 20. But 5 can divide 20 and 45. So that is my best option. Now say 5 here, we're going to have 4. 5 can go in 45 9 times. Now if you check clearly, no other number can divide these two numbers at the same time. So answer is 4 over 9. We're going to do one more example and then we end the class. So for example, we have 72 over 108. To reduce this to the lowest term, I'm reducing to the lowest term as it's called. We're going to start with dividing by 2, seeing that 2 can divide numbers like this. 2 can divide numbers that end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Alright, so we have 72. We're going to use 2 to divide. 2 in 7, 3, remainder 1. Put that one here, nice 12. 2 in 12, we have 6. 2 in 1 in 10, we have 5. 2 in 8, 4. So 2 can still divide. 2 in 3, 1, remainder 1. 2 in 16, 8. So 2 in 54, that is 2 in 5 first, we have 2, remainder 1, that's 14, 2 in 14, 7. Now seeing that 2 can no longer divide this one, as I said, 2 can only divide numbers that end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. This is ending 7, so 2 can no longer divide. Let's try the next option, 3. So 3 in 18, we are going to have 6, and 3 in 27, we're going to have 9. 3 can also go in 6 and 9. 3 in 6, 2, and 3 in 9, 3. So our answer is going to be 2 over 3. So we usually when we have gotten to the point where no other number can divide. Alright, thank you for seeing this video. We are going to continue the next topic in this series, fraction, by considering addition and basic operations with fraction. See you in the next class. Thank you.